What up? Welcome to another episode of the Dealer Talk Podcast. In today's session, we're talking to none other than Mr. Bow Tie Terrance. Very excited to have this conversation. I really appreciate when people within our industry are leveraging creativity and connecting on social media to create a brand for themselves. And this dude is doing that very, very successfully. If you're already following his content, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not, I highly, highly suggest that you go check it out. Also, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to share this podcast, share this episode with somebody that can benefit from the information so that they can take it back to the dealership and implement in their day-to-day. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's check it out. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Dealer Talk Podcast. Tonight is going to be a great episode. We got a great guest. I'm very excited to talk to him. We've been playing back and forth on Instagram, and I'm just excited to have him on the show. Somebody that's super creative. It's got a great story on how to utilize social media to make a difference and an impact and personal branding. And yeah, man, it's just exciting. Eric, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Oh, Herbalicious. I'm fantastic, bro. I'm fantastic. Notice how I draw at the astic because I'm fantastic.
Right on, man. Dude, so we got a great guest tonight. Before we get into it, I kind of wanted to pick your brain. We were talking here before we started the session about creativity, right? And you were mentioning one of your guys, how they kind of took the initiative to create kind of a mini website of sorts that was, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were kind of using the dealership or they were setting themselves up as if the dealership was theirs, right? And in a way to create, some additional business and personal branding. How do you take that? When you have somebody on your staff that's taking that kind of initiative and creativity to make a difference.
Oh, the first thing I do is fire them. Are you serious, bro? I mean, this is literally what I talk about. As especially in today's environment, I talk a lot about IBO, independent business owner, where you owe yourself a duty to kind of set yourself up as your own little business entity, right? Gain your own attraction, because this online presence is in fact it's almost like your resume. So I mean, people get to view you by what you're able to create for the dealership. So I get totally excited when somebody takes the initiative of, they built themselves a website through Facebook that uses our inventory, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So it's a big deal. I think it's a great way to stand out. I think it's a great way to be different, and I enjoy the fact that I'm not the only one that's just different. I like other people being different around me. So there's something to be gained from that. It's an advantage.
Yeah, man. I totally agree, and that's one of the reasons why the guest for tonight is a special guest, because he's really done some pretty amazing things by kind of capitalizing what I consider to be his passion, because it comes through very genuinely, and social media, and putting those two messages together to appeal to an audience. And I think that when you do that, and we're going to, obviously we'll ask the questions and kind of get a bigger understanding of the whole picture. But I think when you put those things together, man, it's magic happens, man. I just don't know any other way to say it. So anyway, I'm excited to have the conversation. Let's get this person on the mic so we can have a session. Without further ado, the guest for today is Mr. Bow Tie Terrance. What's up, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, I'm excited to have you on the show. You have no idea, bro. We're always watching your videos. Like, I'm always sending them to Eric. I'm checking them out on Instagram. I'm like, dude, this dude's like, he's doing it for real, man.
I appreciate it. Hey, sorry it took me so long, man. I gotta get my notifications ain't. I don't know what happened to them, but my Instagram notifications they don't work on my phone.
No, man, dude, I'm sure celebrity status, bro. I get it. I understand. But all right. So the first question we always ask our guests, just to kind of set up some perspective, is tell us a little bit about your background, man. Give us a recap.
Shoot, man, I got a pretty diverse background, man. I've done some of everything, man. I've sold some of everything. Let's see, I'm from Atlanta,
Yeah.
High school, Atlanta. Played college football at the University of Minnesota.
Oh, right on.
Right out. Yep. Got I was a stockbroker for about 6 months. And this was when I learned that I didn't know how to sell. so it was right around the time Pursuit of Happiness had just come out, and I said, "Man, I'm going to go be Will Smith." And I was Will Smith, but I wasn't the Will Smith that made it.
Yeah, you were the other guy.
And then I ended up driving trucks for about 5 or 6 years over the road.
Oh, right on.
And then I said, I made pretty good money doing it. I actually, I did about 5 years longer than I planned on doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I drove. Then I started selling life insurance, and then when I started selling life insurance is when I learned how to sell. So then I did life insurance. I did.
Why do you say life insurance? That's interesting.
Well, no, I actually went. So
was it a mentor, somebody that kind of took you under their wing and taught you?
Yeah. So I had a mentor who he really taught me one presentation. And then so a couple of other things, I studied a lot about sales because I knew I didn't want to drive trucks, but I also knew I didn't want to go work, salary or hourly or something like that. So the only option was to do sales. So I knew I had to learn how to do it. So I hooked up with a guy who showed me a life insurance presentation, and I sold a little bit of, I sold a little bit, and then I learned. It don't necessarily work in the car business, but in life insurance, it worked like almost 100% of the time. Instead of me asking the client or potential client who I was doing my presentation with, would they be interested? I just asked who did they know would be interested, and they would like almost always say, "Hell, I'd be interested." So then I learned, a little psychology of sales and, doing life insurance. And then I started selling mutual funds and like retirement products. And then the life insurance chargebacks is what said, I'm done with this life insurance thing. I'm going to go do finance at a car dealership because I knew somebody, or I knew of somebody who, he appeared to make a pretty good living. And that's what he did. So I applied to do finance jobs in a car dealership. Well, I didn't get the chance to apply because they let me know I couldn't do it without selling cars first.
Yeah.
so I said I wasn't interested in doing that. So I went back and I drove trucks for about 7 months. And I said, man, I'm going to go try this car dealership thing, man, see if I can just sell some cars.
Love that.
And then that's how that's how I got here.
So, and how long were you at the dealership? Are you still at the dealership? Because I've seen you transition to real estate now too. Are you doing both, or what's going on with that?
Yeah, so I do. Like I don't know if I'll ever stop doing the car business. It's almost car sales has become like second nature to me. So I think it'd be foolish for me to just stop
exactly
car business. but I my girlfriend and I so she's a full-time real estate agent, and I'm sales is sales, and I do marketing. So I say, why not? Let me I'll market real estate and see if I can drum up some business. So
right on. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is probably the question that you get asked all the time on podcasts and stuff that you're doing. So how did this come about? Like the music, right? The hip hop vibe, and the combining that with social media and the car business, and like, tell me that story, man. Like, how did that? When did you have that aha moment, and then when did you record the first one, put it out, and the reaction that it got?
Yeah, so it's all been like bits, and it just happened, accidentally or God's plan, but it was anybody's plan but mine. I was just wanting to sell cars, and I've always been, into social media back from, MySpace. I was when Facebook first came out, all of my teammates came to me to do their pictures, their profile picture, because I was pretty decent with Photoshop. So, I've always been into social media. When I was driving trucks, Twitter was my thing. And then, but I don't know, social media has always been my thing, but I never put the two together. Well, I tried to put the two together. When I first got into business, I would use songs that were popular on the radio, and I would just overlay those songs on videos of the inventory. And then one day my brother, so I got a brother, he's about 10 years younger than me. I actually convinced him to come sell cars because he could if he tried. But music is like what he does. He's real passionate about music. And we were at work, and he was like rapping something that he had wrote, and I was like, oh yeah, that's tight. And then I started freestyling, and I was freestyling about cars. And
right.
Then I don't know. One day I was like, I was at home on my laptop, and I was downloaded a beat like from YouTube, and then I wrote some lyrics to it, and I was like, man, I like this.
Oh my god, man, it's just sick. It's so good.
And then and I learned. It was just something. Before I made a video, I did that song probably like 5 or 6 months before I made a video. And then I never made a video for that song. So I made it like I was just jamming. I had everybody in the dealership because singing the song, because we'd play it all the time. But I never made a video. So then I did another song, and then that's the one I was like, man, I should do a video. And we did a video, and it got some traction. But the one that probably got the reason why you guys know me is because that one song I did from when I worked for Toyota for about 6 days. So
when you do these, like, okay, man, so many questions, right? But when you put these deals together, do you go up to the GM or the GSM or a sales manager, or whatever, and you're like, hey, man, I'm gonna this is my thing, this is what I do, and do they give you the green light? Do they fund it? How does that, or do they tell you, man, no, like,
well, part of the reason,
what's the reaction?
Part of the reason why I got into sales was, the freedom to pretty much do what you wanted to do. And,
right.
Yes, I'm gonna say, just a little personal thing about me. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I'm an Aries. I played middle linebacker. So, I've been pretty much in control of everything my whole life.
Right.
So I'm not really one of those guys that ask for permission. I'm one sort of ask for forgiveness. So when I first did it, I asked anybody. I just said, I'm finna do it. And I did it. And I was surprised to know that the only flack I got was from my GSM, and he was upset that I didn't mention the dealership name in the song.
You got to work that in there,
but that wasn't the video. That was a song. So I never did a video for that song. But he was upset I didn't mention the video name in the song. But so the next one I did mention the video name in the song, and then everybody loved it. I get the first video I did. You'll see a couple of the new car director and the GSM was in the video, and a couple of other videos. The whole management staff was in the video. One of the videos I did, I was actually, I had already, quote unquote, graduated to the management staff when I did one of the videos.
Hey, so let me ask you a question, because this is how I wanted to ask this question. This is the number one question I wanted to ask you. So, are you more of an artist than you are a salesman, or vice versa? Because I mean, the ease of the music as it comes through, it's quite apparent that you're an artist. But I mean, what's more important to you?
Oh wait, hold on. It was a little breakup there. Can you repeat the question?
You bet. So, are you more of an artist than you are a salesman, or vice versa? What is how do you view yourself?
So I'm definitely. I gotta say, I'm a hybrid. I'm a little bit of both. Like, I don't really consider myself as a salesperson because if I have to pitch anything, nobody's buying. But if I get the chance to sit down, and talk to somebody, and like learn them, then I guess that is part of being sales. I guess I'm inquisitive. Right. That's how I sell, because I'm inquisitive. But as far as the artist, shoot, I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm introverted. I don't really like talking to a whole lot of people and having cameras in my face and doing interviews and like the meet and greet for me. I struggled with the meet and greet for a long time in car business because I don't like meeting new people. I don't like the attention and having the spotlight and all that. So, but I did recognize that I'm talented with writing because I used to do poetry, like write poetry and stuff. So I know how to write, but I think the whole and when I'm recording these songs, I'm actually in the room like by myself. So like the what you hear on the videos was actually done in a room when it's just me. Like I have no engineers or I do all that on my laptop. And so on the video, it's easy to like the video just come together. You can use everybody in the dealership, to put it together. But if I had to do it with just me and the camera, I don't think anybody would be interested.
So what do you use for equipment? Can I ask you that?
Yeah, it's let me see. I have a MacBook. I use GarageBand, which is free with the MacBook. And I bought a microphone and some headphones. But I didn't like go out and get studio quality equipment. But I got I paid like $100 for my mic. And I just got some regular
dude,
headphones.
I thought you were recording in a booth or something because it sounds so
exactly
good, man.
That's my point. Yes.
No, that was hours of YouTube on trying to.
Yeah.
So, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, pretty much trying to figure out what volumes I need to record at and stuff like that.
So let me ask you this question, man. So obviously you have passion for that, right? And you're combining the two things, the sales and that. Right. But for the people that are listening to this, maybe even people that are entering the business, how has this paid off for you financially?
Yes.
And obviously without specifics, right?
Right.
How has this made what kind of an impact has it made for you as far as selling cars and being successful at it?
I think, that's one of those, it's kind of hard to quantify it because it's like maybe like an offensive line on a football team. A lot of the things that they do don't show up on a stat sheet, but without them, the team probably wouldn't be successful. So I get a ton of when I was saying I don't do it. I'm the internet director at my store now, so it's hard to get out the seats. But when I was doing those videos, I would get a lot of like inbox messages from referrals. I get a ton of referrals. I got a ton of referrals. But I think more than anything, it drives like the team, like when you get other people around you to join you, it just makes everybody, to say like success breeds success or iron sharpens iron. It just gets everybody to, step their game up. And, if you're a salesperson worth anything, you competitive. So it just makes you go harder. So I got me doing that, made other people in the dealership, step outside the box to do other things. And then, so it makes you do something else. And then also, it gave birth to a lot of other rapping car salesmen, which made me, when I said I wasn't doing it, I wasn't doing any more videos. I saw another video and then I had to do one. So,
Yes, of course.
Like things, I guess, it just kind of got the ball rolling to create an environment that was, easy to keep going when you get tired.
So, I mean, is it fair to say that social media did work for you? Like that you used it, you were creative, and it actually generates business. Like you can quantify the effort by cars that you sold and money in your pocket.
Yes, you can definitely. And I'll give one example that I always give because it's the easiest to give. Is that you gotta have the content. But the content means nothing if it's not in front of an audience. And sometimes you might need a little help to get that content in front of an audience. So $10 I spent on Instagram to boost one of my videos, and I sold one car from the $10 spent. And I was like, man, if I would have spent $100, I would have sold 10 cars. But I only spent $10. And she referred her cousin. Her cousin brought his girlfriend. Her cousin totaled the car that he bought, and he ended up buying a truck. So I got 4 car deals from that $10 spend because of the content.
Wow. Terrance, let me ask you something. Who inspires you?
Oh, man. That's. I mean, I don't know. I had this conversation a lot, and my question. I never been asked who inspires me, but I've been asked what like motivates me. I don't necessarily have anybody that inspire me outside of like me. Like I don't want to be my. There's a lot of people.
You're chasing yourself.
Yeah. So
let me tell you something. That's such a great answer. That's such a great answer. I mean, I totally understand that answer. That's an incredible answer. I'm just acknowledging that's a phenomenal answer. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, so I've had some ups and some downs, man. So,
good.
There's a lot of people who's motivated by reaching for the top. I'm trying to get as far away from the bottom as I can. So
I love it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, what's your goal with this then? What is it? What are you after? What is the end result? What's the tackle for you? Tell me about
the tackle
that.
for me would be when I can really like time, man. Like free, like I love, like football is my passion. Like football is, I would not be on the phone with you guys on this podcast if it wasn't for football. And like I know, like it just created so many opportunities, and it taught me so many like skills and disciplines that I'm passionate about it. So I would love to get back and like coach and give back to some kids. Not high school or pro, but like little league. But in the car business, it's pretty difficult to do. So
well, I that leads me to my next question. And then, I mean, if you have a brand new salesperson, you have a piece of putty, and they're saying, "Hey, man, what's the best way that I can market myself? Do you have any suggestions for that?" I mean, what do you suggest they do?
Well, it's going to include social media for sure. But I think what everybody just find. Now I ain't gonna say what even you're good at. You got to have something that you like to do, and find a way to incorporate that. If you can't find a way, because I know not everybody is creative, but everybody loves to do something, and there's a way to incorporate whatever it is you love to do with cars. I mean, I see a lot of creative people, not just doing music, but finding creative ways to build their audience on social media. So there's one, I know a guy, he no longer sells cars, he does credit repair now, but he was good at creating photoshopping himself in images that make you remember him. That's what it's all about, being remembered.
Right.
And so whatever it is that I was teach the green people, hey, whatever it is that you like to do, whatever it is that you find yourself doing the most, find a way to, put that thing in social media and involve cars. You don't have to sell cars all day, because if all you're talking about is cars, and people not gonna really follow you.
Right. So Seth Godin talks about building the smallest group possible, the most loyal band of followers possible. Gary Vee talks about content consistency. Grant Cardone talks about profits in the attention. What is your opinion on dealership advertising nowadays? Where should the monies be spent in your view?
Oh, hold on. You said, what's my opinion on? It cut out a little bit.
On dealers, on dealership advertising.
Dealership advertisement.
Okay. So, what's my opinion on dealership advertisement?
Yes.
Well, shit. I think they're doing it wrong. So,
no doubt.
But I think it should be more spent on. And I'm gonna give. So I'm like I've always had my own dealership. And I didn't realize it until I went to this conference, this CPOV conference this past couple of days, and the stuff that they was talking about. And I was like, man, I've been doing this, but I wasn't doing it right. So, but advertising on Facebook, I mean, I've been doing here recently. I learned with with the real estate thing, how to market and advertise and target people on Facebook, and the leads are like pouring in. So I think there's a lot of dealerships who I hear, from what I hear, and even with the stats that I see, the amount of people spending money on TV ads, I think is insane, because not very many people watch TV. Like I lived in Dallas for 4 years before I even bought a TV. But
it's not. You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt here, but I just want to interject really quick. The frequency portion that you get from sites like Facebook and Instagram, you just can't match it, dude, because it's so cheap.
Yes,
right? And that's the goal, or should be your goal when it comes to advertisement. The most amount of frequency for the least amount of dollars. But anyway, I just wanted to say that thought. But yeah, man, I totally agree with you.
That's you're 100% right. Like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. If you're doing it right, but yeah, social media in general, like that's definitely where the money should be spent, because that's whatever you don't have to guess if people see your stuff. They see your stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I totally agree. So let me ask you this question, dude. How many dealerships contact you every month and they tell you to go work for them?
Man, man, I used to get a lot. I mean, it was like the most insulting thing. Like I couldn't stand being, hey, man, come work for. Why would I do that? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? If you want to offer me a management job to come teach your, people how to do it, that's one thing. If you want to inquire about, what other skills I have, I have more to offer than sell cars. That ain't even my thing. Like I'm better in a more, I'll say, valuable to any organization as a leader than I am a player.
Yes.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yes.
Man. I mean, dude, if that doesn't prove if that initiative and that creativity doesn't prove that, I mean, dude, come on. Like, right. It's so obvious.
So, I mean, it's the car business in its whole, and for the most part, is like real old school. And there's a huge disconnect between the new salespeople and the old managers,
Mm-hmm.
So you got me right there in the middle. So I feel like the middle child. So
Dude, so you revolutionized the sales game, right?
Mm-hmm.
By combining those and putting social media in there. What are you going to do now for the internet director role?
Oh,
How are you going to switch that up?
so we actually, I've done a couple of, like, I've been an internet director for almost 2 years now. Like, I wouldn't even, like,
Oh, right on.
yeah, I mean, I don't talk. I mean, you know, sell like, customers don't care what your position is when you're on social media.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, so I still make videos. Like, I've included a couple of my guys in the videos. We got another song that we was gonna do, but shoot, these guys moved on to other dealerships. Like, they got other opportunities. So we got, right now, I just be focused on moving the needle with the traffic that the dealership is providing, and trying to get my guys to just go out and, you know, brand themselves. So that's been my main focus. But I mean, we got some stuff coming up though. We got some.
Right on, man.
Nice.
How about you know, like, if you were to, you know, if you were getting paid, right, to give one piece of advice, right,
Mm-hmm.
for somebody starting out today, considering the technology, considering what you talked about, the discrepancy between, you know, management styles and things like that within the dealership, you know, something that would allow them to learn the process quicker, you know, regardless of, you know, marketing themselves and all that, because I think we've covered that.
Right.
But what tip or advice would you give yourself, even if you were starting the car business, you know, today, day one?
Shoot, the YouTube. That's like, so I've tried to sell cars at 2 other dealerships prior to this one, but, you know, the train, like, there's a like you said, there's a disconnect between the, you know, everybody calls the millennials, you know, there's between the millennials and old school car guys.
Right.
You know, the communication is not there.
Right.
So I would say, but YouTube, and, you know, a lot of them, I mean, I got siblings that are millennials, and they are maybe the most, they are tied for the most stubborn people. So the millennials are stubborn, and then the old car dogs are stubborn. So, you know, that's so they but you,
good luck there, right?
so YouTube, man, I'm telling you, YouTube, Gary V, Steve Richards, were the main 2 people that and it was one other guy that I used. But YouTube, you gotta invest in yourself. It's like I mentioned, football being what it has been to me, and a great analogy that I use with anything is with football. Like the NFL they get paid per game. So that's 16 if excluding the playoffs. They get paid 16 times per year. They only play 16 games, 16 days out of a 365-day year. But the majority of their work is done outside of work. And the same has to be done in sales. You can't wait till you go. You can't get the majority of your training has to be outside of work. You can't wait till you go to work to get training.
Right.
Dude, I love that, man.
That is so good.
That's a great message. Yeah, man, I totally agree. And we talked about this in one of the episodes recently, but, you know, we oftentimes wait for all the companies and stuff to provide everything to us, but we got to put in our own effort too, man. We got to, you know, if it's our career, we need to invest our own time.
Absolutely. And like the majority of your investment should come from you. It has to come from you. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I love it, man. This has been such a great conversation. I feel like we could, you know, keep this deal rolling for a minute, but, you know, we're almost at that time. I wanted to give you a moment to let people know how they can get in touch with you if you feel comfortable with that. Do you have anything coming up that you want to put out there? So make sure people check it out.
Yeah. So I
may talk about the real estate thing too. You know,
I got a couple of So remember, I told you, I asked you, inbox, you said, hey man, does it have to be can it be on the phone? So I was in Vegas for the CPOV conference. And
dude, we should have done this live. I live in Vegas.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, dude.
So I would have done it too, man, because I didn't do anything else. But I was working on the plane, and I was like, man, let me put this thing in and put it up. But we was already at mid-flight, so I put my laptop in the seat pocket, behind the seat that was in front of me, and I got off the plane and left my laptop on the plane.
Oh, man.
So hopefully Southwest returned it back to me, because I do got some material on there, some songs that I had created.
Yeah. Oh man, you gotta get that shit back.
So I was telling my brother, I was like, man, I feel like the rappers, man, when they be posting on social media talking about their car got broken into and their laptop is gone. So,
bro, watch your song gonna win a Grammy. Exactly.
So I gotta buy. Either I gotta wait till my laptop is returned, or I gotta get a new one before I put out any material. But we got a Team Dallas Dodge song coming, and then I got some real estate stuff coming.
And where can people find you? Check it out. Obviously, social media. Which platforms? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram.
Yep, I'm Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I think that's it. But if there's a social media platform and I'm on it, the name is the same. Bow Tie Terrance. The name is the same.
All right, there you go. So, and we're gonna put all that stuff in the notes. We'll put your the links to all that stuff. If you don't mind sharing your phone number, we'll put that in there too. And anybody listening to this, highly, especially the decision makers, highly suggest that you check the content out, just so you can get an idea, man, of how powerful it can be when you combine your passion, something that you enjoy doing, and you tie it into the business. Like, it works, man. It really, really works.
Yes.
No, yeah.
So
it does.
Anyway, man, thank you so much for coming on. There's one more question that I have. This is a question I ask everybody that comes on the show, and that question is, where do you see the automotive industry headed in the next 5 years, and why?
Oh, well, I mean, the easy, obvious answer is online. So that's coming for sure. Online deliveries. I mean, I think, car dealerships is going, with service and with people just wanted, the whole test drive thing. But I think a good majority of the sales is going to be online sales. And the people who don't do the online sales, I think they're going to be out of a job.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that. So kind of what you're talking about is being able to complete that process digitally, kind of with maybe digital retailing or some hybrid of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, so me being an internet director now, I hear it all the time, and I have to keep my guys' head in the game. But because it's coming. It's coming. People don't want to come to the dealership. Like, all day we hear, I was hoping to get it done without having to come to the dealership. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, look at Carvana's numbers, and they continue to take market share away. But I also agree with what you said about service and test drives. I think that the dealers are always going to have their safe place, right? But you could potentially lose market share if you don't set things up right to compete and be able to offer that experience to your customers, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Hey, brother, thank you so much, dude, for coming on. It's been awesome talking to you. I had a blast. We laughed a ton. I think there's lots and lots of good information here. I'm just super thankful, man, to have the opportunity to talk to you and pick your brain. I'm a fan. I like what you're doing, man. I think that it's just awesome.
I appreciate it, man. When I saw the lineup, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get. I'm gonna have to see if I can get some of those guys' autographs, man. So, man, you pulled it off, boy.
Yeah, man. This season for sure is gonna be a good one, man. So I'm glad that you're a part of it, brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. That's all we got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and as usual, we'll talk later.
You made it all the way to the end. Congratulations. Thank you so much for tuning in. We truly, truly appreciate it. If you like this episode and you think of somebody that can benefit from this information, please make sure to share it. Share this podcast so that they can take these insights back to the dealership and implement on their day-to-day. Thank you so much. And as usual, we'll talk later.